Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at two emergency nerfs which literally just dropped into the game a few minutes ago to SQUEAK and Surge. So we're taking a look at those in a minute. So before we jump into it, make sure you're using the creator code in the shop. That'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, guys, so jumping into the first emergency nerf which we've seen with the maintenance literally about an hour ago or so, it's the SQUEAK residue gadget getting nerfed from 20 seconds to 10 seconds. So this is going to be a huge nerf. SQUEAK before was like one of the best brawlers inside of the game, easily being banned pretty much all the time in Power League, and now I feel like he's not going to be a strong brawler at all. So SQUEAK has had his week in the limelight. Now I just feel like he's going to be one of those brawlers that's going to be in and around the middle of the meta, just because that is such a huge nerf. If you think about it in relative terms, that gadget has got nerfed obviously like half, but it's only going to have an impact in the game for 30 seconds in comparison to like a minute. So it's going to be a bit easier to deal with SQUEAKs. Now, still going to be a really strong gadget, and definitely not, well, he's not going to be one of the worst brawlers in the game now, but he's not going to be one of those brawlers which you'd see banned pretty much every single time, which is nice because I don't like brawlers whatsoever when their gadget literally dictates how strong they are. But it'd still be pretty nice to see him be somewhat relevant in the meta. I hope so, and especially on those maps with the choke points, you know, like maps like Dueling Beetles, for example, where SQUEAK already was pretty much underrated on that map. So we're going to try and stick this Meg right here. At least she gets slowed for quite some time. We're going to super her as well, which is going to be toxic. She's still in that residue gadget, which is going to be really toxic for enemies to try and get out of. That's one of the main OP things about it, is because of the radius, and it's just so hard to actually get out of the gadget once you're inside it. So still got one more gadget left, and again, it's still going to be pretty strong on those maps that are really grassy with certain choke points. So that's going to be a win right there. Let's hop into the next one when this Mortis finally decides to score past the Meg. Okay, no, he's not going to score past the Meg. He's going to try something different. Maybe this video isn't going to end just yet. We're going to cycle our super just then. I can't believe I was actually counting down to try and go into the next game when there was a Mortis with a ball. I should have known what was coming right there, but still getting close to killing this Mortis. Should be able to kill him right here, unless, okay, somehow gets his super off in time. And yeah, this is looking like, to be honest, we're probably going to lose this game after Mortis tried that failed trick shots. Also, let me know what you think of the spray prices in the shop. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter complaining about the prices of the sprays, and I can kind of agree with it. I was one of the people that actually put out a tweet about it for sure. I feel like sprays are a little bit overpriced right now, especially the pins as well. I've seen like a Mr. P pin for like 79 gems or something, which is absolutely wild. You can get such a nice skin for that price, so I just don't really see the point in the sprays and pins being that expensive. So this is going to be the first game. Let's hop into the next one. All right, guys, so jumping into the next game then. So another point I wanted to talk about within this video is the fact that, like, how Brawl Stars works with their nerfing. So like, you can think of brawlers like Eve and Fang. You know, in the past, they're chromatic brawlers. They haven't been nerfed. Well, they took ages to get nerfed. Then brawlers like SQUEAK and Surge, who have only just came into the meta, they seem to just get nerfed straight away. So I'm kind of wondering why Brawl Stars do this. Well, a lot of people are just saying that obviously they're Brawl Pass brawlers, so they kind of want to get their money's worth. But I just feel like there's more to it, really, especially considering brawlers like SQUEAK, for example. They literally haven't been meta for, well, ever since his release, and then he just gets a like emergency nerf pretty much straight away. Which in comparison again to like brawlers like Eve, who still after certain nerfs is like one of the best brawlers inside of a game. So it just begs to wonder like why they don't really look to nerf these type of brawlers so quickly. So it looks like we should be able to get, okay, Cole's just going to be able to survive there. And also this gadget as well is going to be really toxic on a map like Minecart Madness. Like, already you're really restricted in the ways you can go, and a well, I'm going to say a 10-second gadget which just slows. You know, it's going to be a little bit toxic to get out of here. So we're going to be able to force the enemies over here. They're going to try and get past this slow, but it's just going to allow us to get even more value right here. Cole's going to get slowed right here. And Michael's going to run it into him. And again, that's just why this gadget is still really OP. Even though it got halved, nerfed in its second durations, if you get some good value with it, it's easily going to get you some kills. So unfortunately, our Ems runs into the minecart there. We should be able to get a good super onto that SQUEAK though. That's going to be the SQUEAK pretty much dead. I don't think the Eggo's going to be able to get out of there, and somehow we're going to be losing this game. I don't have a clue. I think that Ems ran into the minecart when it just spawned in, which it's just down bad, especially considering Minecart Madness has been out for years. You should really know when the minecart is coming. So unfortunately, we're going to be losing this game right here, but let's jump into some Surge gameplay now. Alright guys, jumping into the second and final brawler that got an emergency nerf. It is, of course, Surge. So Surge, super OP before the changes. I feel like it's going to be an interesting change. It'll still be pretty strong, but it'll be nowhere near as broken as before. So the first change is with his gadget Power Surge. So before, you used to be able to go to level 3 literally instantly. Now you only go to level 2, but it's still a nice gadget because you, of course, in the first stage, you're really slow. So at least you go to that second stage pretty much instantly. You still be able to cycle your super really well. So I think it's still a strong gadget. And at least now the other gadget, which I thought was definitely a strong gadget as well, will get some usage. It was just because the other gadget was just so broken. So it'd be nice change right there. So the next change is with Surge's super. So I said this before a few times in previous videos, like this should definitely be a change. It's that with Surge's super, it doesn't actually charge any of his super anymore, if you get what I mean. So if you hit someone with your super, it's not going to charge it. So before you could just jump onto someone and then only need 2 hits to actually charge a super. Now it takes 3 hits, which is of course a really nice change. Before you could literally just be Superman jumping on people, charging your super within 2 shots, and now you'll of course need more shots to charge it. So still, again, I feel like Surge is still going to be a really strong brawler, probably a top 10 brawler inside of a meta, but I don't think he's like number 1 or 2 anymore. Could be wrong with this one. He still could be pretty broken, but yeah, definitely a nice change. It's quite weird seeing like Surge get that much of an emergency nerf that quickly, but it is nice. It just was way too broken, especially with the knockback feature as well. So that's going to be the first game. Let's hop into the next one. All right, guys, jumping into the next game. So with Surge, I feel like well, I've actually done a few games, but my Gato kept glitching so much, but I was still really doing well with Surge, like kind of carrying the enemy's teams. So as long as you're getting your 2nd level by the time your gadget runs out, you're going to be having a good time with Surge, but it's going to be, of course, a little bit harder to get that super. So we should be able to get the kill onto Stu right there. But yeah, Surge is still going to be a really strong brawler in the meta, but also, quickly let me know if you still want to see a Power League guide. Of course, it's going to be a little bit harder to make the guide because Surge and SQUEAK did receive some emergency nerfs. Of course, like drafting it up, like a lot of the video was actually consisting of like Surge and SQUEAK being really strong. And of course, it'll probably take a few days to at least for the meta to like settle down, because you got to realize as well with the meta, when there's strong brawlers, some other brawlers might become better just because they counter the meta brawlers, if you get what I mean. So be it a few days before I can even like realize who's strong in the meta. So should be able to get the Gene down right there. We're getting close to our next super. Should be able to just jump onto the Surge and kill them. So like the super is still strong, even though it doesn't charge any of the super. If you hit someone, it's still going to do damage. It's still going to knock back the enemies. So still super strong mechanic to have. It jumps over walls as well. Surge still going to be an absolute beast in this meta. Luckily, the Mortis finishes that one off. So we got our next super as well. That's going to be our 3rd level. We could even pop our gadget again to get to the 4th level if needed, but I'm just going to save that in case I die and I don't get our super. So again, as soon as you get to that 2nd level, this gadget's going to be really strong at getting your levels. So we should be able to get the Stu. Okay, no, Stu just going to be able to actually get on it in. I just had to laugh at that because Gene just missed a point blank pull, which is pretty hilarious. It just reminds me of me on Gene. So we're going to be able to get our 4th level right here, I believe. Actually, no, I think it's going to be our 3rd level once the gadget on goes. Yeah, that's going to be our 3rd level. We're getting close to our 4th level already, though. Just a few more hits. Going to have to actually heal up, and it's not looking like the best of games to win, unfortunately, because of how much pressure these guys have got. Stu with the wall break. Break through a gadget, which could have caused us some issues. Our Mortis going to go down. Our Crow getting really pinned back here, and that should be the Gene dead. Okay, he goes for that pull as well. This Gene is really down bad. He's missed some absolute easy pulls. I don't know how he didn't score that one either. So going into overtime, at least again we've got our 3rd level. So you just have to be really cautious now with Surge, even more so than normal, to keep your levels and your power-ups. But that should be the Surge dead here, and I'm going to just super kick this one up because Mortis should be able to score on a free goal with his super. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think of all the changes in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.